Gentlemen, are we mid-episode? Is this the beginning of an episode? It's become a blur. We are trying to record and produce several podcasts with more on the way for the new year. We're doing what we can, and we're having a good time doing it, I would hope. You are third level, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. And before we roll, I would quickly like to go around the table and hear what we have not heard before. Finishing off, because we have fans that actually ask us to post our character sheets on Tumblr. They don't want to wait slowly but surely for you to go, oh, I got that new power and it works, right now. They want the anticipation. They want to go, do it now. You should use this, Matt, remind you. They'll email you directly. So starting with our fearless leader, Rahal Oberus, what did you take for an actual third level? What class?
I took soldier.
Did you now? You've been hanging out with Merrick. You taking tips from Merrick?
Absolutely. Well, my last experience during combat told me very much that I needed to toughen up.
Okay. So now Dawn of Defiance has a very specific campaign layout, and we're trying to stick true to it. So instead of rolling a d10, they go, look, here's 7 hit points. It's the 70. That's like the high end of the number. Stay alive. Here you go. So they've slapped you with that hit points. You've got some base attack bonus going up, obviously. Yep. Your third level. Now every second level is where all our skills and damage rolls go up. So you're still at the +1 point. What about feats and talents? What do you get? Fun choices.
Third level, I believe, is talent level.
Okay. And a character feat level.
And yes, because I multi-classed, I got a few extra starting bonuses. Particularly, I got some armor proficiency.
Right. Now, when you multi-class in this game, there's your starting feats, and when you multi-class, you're just supposed to pick one of them. You don't get all of them by jumping into a new class. You're like, well, pick one. So you picked some light armor for your pinstripe suit armor?
I certainly did.
Yes. And moving from there, your character feats are?
I took martial arts.
No shit. That's surprising. That's cool, but that's surprising. I don't think you would have gone that way. Do you have any talents?
Well, yes. For the talent, I took battlefield remedy from the veteran talent tree for soldier.
Oh, right on. Now you played nurse under Dr. Leth, Nurse Oberus.
Yep.
Now he's Captain Oberus.
Captain Nurse Oberus.
If you're keeping Captain Nurse Oberus. All right. Well, that's enough exposure for now. Let's move on to your loyal second here, Mr. Messina. Merrick.
Yes.
Merrick, what did you take at third level for a class?
Soldier. I went back to my roots.
All right. So base attack goes up. Your 7 hit points. What did you take for your character feat?
I took ability to shoot many people at one time.
Rapid shot?
No, that is for babies. I chose other talent. Shoot more people at one time.
What's the feat called?
Shoot more people? No. It is the simple skill known as...
Stall.
Stall.
For
I pull up character sheet. See his eyes searching the screen. It's like, and
Auto fire sweep, I think is what it is that you took.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the cone fire.
Okay. Now, you're our auto fire guy, and you would pick 2 squares out there within range, and you would just hose them. They would take damage. They got a reflex for maybe half of that damage, and that was the auto fire option. So now...
I have auto fire sweep.
And it...
From Legacy, page 34.
Right. And this allows everything within the cone shape. So, like, from one square in front of you all the way out to the edge of the cone, all have to make that.
It's from one cone. It's from one square within my minimum range to a 6 square cone.
Really? So you can place the cone out there?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
That's a really good pray and spray. I like that.
Yes, it is.
Talent, anything else?
As for my talents, no, I can throw bombs. I can make my bombs blow up really hard. Like hard. But no more hard than second level.
So are you talking like an extra damage dice or?
2 damage dice.
So your standard grenade is like a 46?
If I take time to plant it.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Moving down the list of associates, I believe Going back to that promenade fight, a woman jumps out. Help me! There's credits! Matt's ears perks up. Route hole. Credits, you say? And he goes to guns, and the very first roll was a natural 1. Merrick, recently hired on the spot from a cantina, backs him up. Dr. Left was busy buying a droid, came in later, but Poser Sham, standing in a cantina doorway, trying to melt stormtroopers. Mr. Sham, halfway through, we all want to hear from... No, we don't. You're the Jedi. You're the best for last. We'll skip you. We'll go Frank. Old man's in.
What
did you take it? Oh, what did you take a third level?
So I'm staying true to my class. I took a 3rd level in Scout.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that gives me a 3rd level skill focus and a talent. So for my level 3 skill focus, I took Stealth.
Right on.
And let's see. The talent...
Now, a skill focus gives you like a +5 to your dice roll on a skill. Yeah. That's a serious ba-doom-ba.
Yep. So I've got +5 to my stealth roll, and then I also chose improved stealth. Roll twice, take the second, even if it's worse.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, so I thought that played real well with the hidden attacker from Knights of the Old Republic campaign. So anytime I use the snipe action, I can use that as a swift, and then I believe you can still hide.
Yeah, remind me when we get through 10 modules of this, instead of going forward in time and touching on the toes and crouching upon other podcasts, maybe you guys should do we should do Knights of the Old Republic again, like we played in the basement, and you guys do the great ancestors of each other's characters. great 50,000-year-old grandfather, that'd be a good one. And the Scout is it's a D8, so they give you, 5 hit points, I believe?
I've got 40 total hit points.
Yeah, no, but I think the Scout rolls a D8 or D10.
I think it's D8.
Yeah, and they gave you a 6 instead of the D10 7, because they give you a static number just to make sure you don't roll shit and die.
Yerp.
Now the Scout has sort of an on and off base attack. Because I know at first level they still get 0, so because they're halfway between the warrior and the skill bunny. So did your base attack go up?
It did. I have a plus 2 to hit.
Total out of 3 levels. Okay. Anything else, like a talent or anything? Squeeze in there?
Nope, that was my talent and my skill. I do have a piece of equipment that's the camo gear that adds +2 to stealth at a range of 35 or greater squares, +1 if it's less than that.
Now, this is what we wrote off as the ultimate coral ghillie suit.
I was trying to upgrade.
Oh no,
from my stock one, so that would
I gave you speakers in it, man. Don't hit me up for anything else.
I mean, so my stealth is 14 or higher, depending.
I'm gonna have those speakers belt out the wrong terrain ambient sound. So if you're underwater, you hear parrots, and if you're you guys are in a jungle world or something, you hear cars and traffic.
That's awesome.
Mr. J. Tamlin, Dr. Leth, you're currently holding 2 levels of noble, and for a 3rd.
A 3rd level of soldier.
Oh, you've also been hanging out with down at the gun range, have you?
I had figured that was rather obvious.
I do like your characters reflecting not just what you want, but what's happened to you. So many people I'm a paladin, I'm going to take a 3rd level rogue. It's well, for the last mission or adventure that you played, you did nothing to support training in this new class. And I remember Dr. Leth being cornered by one of those Frankenstein plant people modifies, and he blew his head off. You guys thought he was dead. He just pulled out his pistol, blew his head off, balls of steel, point blank. It was a shot that only Rahal could miss, but you know what I'm saying. That started us having a brand new respect for Dr. Leth in combat, besides just dragging our broken bodies away and going clear. So level soldier. So the good old base attack goes up. You get a big boost in hit points. What about character feats and talents? Talk to me.
Well, I also took the battlefield remedy.
We were trained together.
Playing doctor together? That's nice. That's
We
good.
were. And certainly, I was helping him out as well with the basics and such. But it did seem like it would be a very convenient ability to learn. Beyond that, the biggest change for me happens to follow around with the armor. I've gained proficiency in such armor, and I also took a feat to enhance the equipment of the party.
Didn't you guys have a light proficiency pact when we first found all that armor and you guys realized half of you couldn't wear it without penalties? We're okay, when we level, we'll have a pact. I'm sorry, Dr. Leth, you were saying proficiency for all?
I have an increased proficiency for light armor, and I took the feat Tech Specialist. So in those past couple days that we've been in hyperspace, I've been hard at work.
Yeah, you've been gobbling up the guns tell me.
No.
The coolest thing in Starfinder,
They-
which if we get Matt set up properly in our up-and-coming Patreon, we can actually start a brand new podcast of Starfinder with Matt Witt as your friendly neighborhood GM with original, not Dead Sons, original content. This guy is a sci-fi fan. Ooh, he's looking like this is the first I've heard of it. What, Jeff? Could be coming to you sooner, faster. And they have these space goblins. And imagine these little dudes with like duct tape on their helmets and, you know, fire extinguishers for jetpacks. So when Dr. Leth, we trust him with our bodies, but you guys really trust him with your weaponry and gear. I know Merrick's sweating. You know.
No one touches Sasha.
Yeah, and the ex-wife, you know, Frank's sniper rifle.
Well, it works for armor, it works for weaponry, it works for the ship.
Oh, well, I guess he's forgiven. Yes, we just have a ship. Dr. Leth, anything else you have to share?
Yes, as I was explaining, with that feat, since we had been in hyperspace for quite some time, I decided that I would take the time to make some alterations on the Stormtrooper armor that I had been borrowing.
Ooh, and okay, now that's something we'll have to share in battle because I don't want to give everything away. We just wanted to give sort of a structured look at the characters.
As far as it's concerned, as physical appearance, it looks instead of the actual white of the standard Stormtrooper armor, it is jet black. I don't use a helmet, although I do have what looks like a big headpiece coming around and going in front of my eye. But beyond that,
yeah, you got the cool medical visor. I remember that.
Yes, but the visor has been upgraded a little.
Have you seen the artwork? They described to the artist what it would be, and he's got a very anime looking guy, and he looks like Tuxedo Mask. They just kind of put this awesome plate covering one eye. It doesn't look very technical, but it does look very mysterious. It's really cool. Get the lab coat. Anyway, okay, and now I've saved the best for last. Obviously, everyone wants to know, Jay, does Arthur level? Like the NPC Arthur, I mean, does he... We're sorry. Sorry, apologies to Matt Damon and Aiden Williams who've been bumped from the show tonight. Thank you. Good night. That's everybody. Jay, what about Arthur?
Well, I hadn't known if Arthur did level.
Well, Aiden's throwing pillows around his room and getting mad at me.
At that point in time, though, I don't know. We haven't seen Arthur yet.
No, I'm just like, I'd kept Arthur sort of on the down low, and now we're talking about maybe bringing him more into light, like leveling and stuff, possibly bringing in a player to play him if possible. And yeah, I guess I'll refund your money. There's Jay, the player, going, hey, I spent $4,000. What do you mean you're going to give this guy away to somebody? Or he'll continue to be me. And as an NPC, without a mind wipe, you know, they just get up to things. But he's still a great remote extension to hack doors, go to the shit job that nobody wants to do. But okay, we'll look into that. So I guess that's everybody. Did I miss somebody? Oh, right. Lipships. What's your real name?
I don't know. What is it, Jeff?
Oh, no. I'm just trying to get him to reveal his real name. Okay. Well, the man known as Poser Shan.
Yeah. Okay. So I took another level in Jedi.
Yay.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Come on, you have to.
Yeah,
it's expected. No, come on. If he says I take Thelgir, I'd be like, get out of my podcast. We're only allowed one Jedi, and he abandons it.
Oh yeah, no,
we can't rely on Matt and the Jersey Force. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to be you. You are the man.
And as such, for my level feat, I took Force training, which allows me to add to my suite of Force powers. I'm not going to reveal those just yet, because. But let's just say it.
Okay, well, tell us how many powers you get, because I know Force training gives you one, at least, plus your Wisdom modifier.
Yes.
And you can even take powers that you already have, so that you can double dish them or triple dish them out within the same encounter, which is really neat.
Yes. So I can get 4 every time I take Force training, because I have a 3 modifier on my Wisdom.
Holy crap! Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, I think Draco just got a little closer to your ship, man. I didn't know you got powerful that fast.
Well,
so soldier, you say? Yes, solid choice.
No.
We gotta slow this guy down.
Okay,
son of a bitch.
But to counteract the greatness of my Force suite, my other stats are a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, and you still can't swing that Axeworth shit, can you?
Exactly.
Every time you swing, it embarrasses
itself. So it's fine. I
can't.
Look, I can't contribute to combat with Force powers, so they're useless anyway, and I can't contribute with melee. So don't worry about it. It's fine.
I got to give him one thing. He's playing into the stay on the down low because he hasn't built a saber. You know, everyone's expecting that right at the gate, like maybe not robes, but someone's going to draw that saber in the first battle. We've gone through an entire season, an entire module with no lightsaber wielding. And we've got 9 more adventures to go. That's 9 more seasons. You know, now we've hinted that you may have a kyber crystal somewhere in your possession. It might be used in another purpose in your gear, whatever.
I have no clue what you're talking
Is
about.
it, you know, is there the possibility, if you ever get over your little boohoo guilt trip thanks to our Christmas special, that you might possibly be gaining the other components for a Saber of the Light?
It's not necessarily. If, hypothetically, there was to be a kyber crystal, a part of the axe, hypothetically, there would be the other parts there, and he would be continuing to gather the parts necessary.
Well, it makes you and the party easier to track. There's a guy with a lightsaber, they'll find you faster. I mean, that's my end game.
Yeah, no, and I realize
kill everybody. You know, when he starts pulling a saber and they go, "Oh, look, it's a Jedi," then there's like so many complete divisions of the Empire's resources will be devoted to, you know.
No, I realize that. No, the plan is to leave the hypothetical lightsaber undrawn until absolutely necessary.
Okay, yeah. So in the meantime, you find stormtroopers with bleeding out their ears, and people just chalk it up to space avian flu or something.
Exactly.
It's a solid. Okay. So talk to me about character feats and talents.
So again, character feat. I took Force training, which gives me 4 different Force powers. Now I did not double up on anything that I already had.
Did you master the Goku ball?
No.
Remember that?
I will say I did not master the Goku ball.
Oh, okay.
But I did get some influence from the shaman's training back on Felucia.
I do love it when they introduce a power that's through the adventure going, this guy has it, this is why he has it, you're exposed to it, he takes 5 minutes to train you, and you honor him by leading the Imperials to like wipe out his village and don't even continue his legacy by learning his Force power. But that's okay. I mean, that's your character. I mean, that's fine.
Exactly.
Ryan, who loves Goku balls and everything, very upset, but that's fine.
And for talent, I took Force Persuasion, which is a add-on to my Adept Negotiate.
Oh, I'm boned. I'm so boned. I hate that power.
It allows me to use the Force modifier instead of my Persuasion modifier when trying to drop people down the condition track. So I can talk my way out of any situation.
If you're playing D&D, it's like he just gave the 3rd level spell Suggestion. Make a willpower save because I'm inside your brain and the whisper just stays.
Well, it's less of suggestion. It's more of demoralization.
This is not the band you're looking for. And they only see one guy dressed up like a rock star, so they leave you alone. Everybody else gets roasted.
Well, no, that's more mind trick. This is like putting people into a depression. Like making them sadder and sadder.
He gives people headaches.
Yeah, so they can't function.
Like really bad headaches.
Exactly. So that's fine. Don't worry about it.
All right. So there's a quick sneak peek into our party at 3rd level. Gentlemen, after a small, I guess you could say, OVA series to launch in 2nd edition, we're ready for Book 2, A Wretched Hive. Blackness. Starfield. Credits roll, the music plays. Star Wars, Dawn of Defiance, Episode 2, they mean Book 2, A Wretched Hive. Between the stars in the blackness of space, the Nebulan B frigate resurgence, and then there's a record scratch. It backs up, everything stops. Now, obviously, they're talking about a ship in space, and the scene would drift to it, but I want to do something a little different. The scene drops down to a desert planet, and a young man wearing a light brown robe has delivered a small child to a couple of asshat farmers on a moisture farm, and he just walks away. They're family, they'll be good. I'm gonna go live in a cave now. He's kind of out of work. I mean, he has this job, he's gonna look over this child, but he's looking for loose work. So hopefully, if Ewan McGregor or if Alec Guinness are free, they might, or all we could get was a cheap impressionist, so we'll bring him out. Between the stars and the blackness of space, the Nebulan B frigate Resurgent floats silently away from the prying eyes of the Empire. Meanwhile, the galaxy continues to sink further into darkness. Each day, remnants of the old Republic are crushed, and a new order is more firmly established. Former Imperial Admiral Gilder Varth has provided Alderaanian agents with vital information on secret projects, and even now, events are in motion to reveal the Empire's misdeeds to the galaxy and reunite what's left of the Beatles, because I really hope Paul and the rest of George will work with me again. And the credits roll up. Gentlemen, you find yourselves in the briefing room aboard the Resurgence, the Nebula B frigate, which is captained by, well, Captain Verana, played by Nathan Fillion. Because I'm telling you, you look at this picture.
Nathan Fillion.
Isn't that great? And look, there's the Alderaanian uniform, striking in its resemblance to the Imperial outfit, but instead of a pale gray, it's a nice cappy blue. Still have the jack boots, you know. No pill cap on top, but there he is. Recently promoted to captain of the Resurgence. The last one didn't want the job, resigned his commission. Has a 80% rookie crew, as we mentioned before. And now he has summoned you to the briefing room. It is clean and white, with several benches wrapping smoothly around a holographic projector seated on a raised dais in the center of this room. The projector springs to life, and that blue-tinged hologram of a hut appears. Now, I never got this. Like, they have star technology, they have all this stuff, but their holograms look like pale blue, smoky shit. Like, what's up with that? You think you could, you know what I'm saying? Like, Star Trek has a holodeck and people can actually stab material, and Star Wars only gets like...
This isn't Star Trek, Jeff.
Sorry. You guys spent too much time on the Banshee where everything was carpeted and stuff. It just really threw me out of the Star Wars vibe. I'm sorry. The blue-tinted hologram of a hut appears to hover a few inches away from the projector's 3 curved prongs. With a brisk clearing of his throat, former Imperial officer Gilder Varth begins to speak, wasting little time on pleasantries. Before the Empire decided my conscience was a liability, he says, I was involved periodically in a top-secret plan known as the Sarlacc Project. Well, the details of the project are unknown to me, and it does sound kind of lame because that whole Boba Fett thing, did he live and does he doesn't live, but that's far in the future, never mind. I was involved in the transfer of large sums of credits and resources to this project. Whatever the project entails, it is taking up a lot of the Empire's time and effort. Moreover, I believe that this Sarlacc project is destroying the lives of thousands of sentient beings. Casualty reports cross my desk on a regular basis. Unfortunately, I don't know much more about than that. However, during my brief brushes with the project, I discovered that the Imperial Navy was hitting the program's existence was... Excuse me, I seem to have an Imperial in my throat. Unfortunately, I don't know much about the project other than that. However, during my brief brushes with this project, I discovered that the Imperial Navy was hiding the program's existence from the Senate by transferring resources through secondary sources. Resources that were routed through the corporate sector, through fake contractors, and through a criminal underworld to keep a trail from leading back to the project. One such secondary source was a Hutt crime lord named Darga. Like all Hutts, Darga is a slimy gangster whose love of credits is exceeded only by his love of power. Part of my job involved transferring resources to Darga, and in turn arranging for Imperial agents to take control of other resources from the Hutt's organization. These were not simply transfers of credits, mind you. The items being traded were not specified, but physical resources were definitely being exchanged. Though it's not much, this is the only lead we have. He turns and motions to the Alderaanian captain. Captain Verona has charged me with helping to uncover more about the Sarlacc project, and he has authorized me to use you as my agents. We need you to travel to the planet of Cato Nemoidia and find Darga the Hutt. see if you can learn what he is trading and how it relates to the Sarlacc project. He takes a step back. Captain Verona leans in, thanks you. He says, and clearly a message to keep the name secret again is transmitted to you as he looks you each in the eye. The old benefactor, I reckon, has upgraded your accounts with the former credits agreed upon. I believe a new offer stands, and you will be well compensated if you choose to accept.
Well, it's the sacred art of negotiation. You don't know. You don't start with a positive attitude. You come in skeptical. Make it more worth your while.
So you're going to be a schmuck?
Of course. This
Okay,
is all we're talking about.
You guys have questions, or Rawls lead on this? What do you want to say?
So, right. Well, as I'm sure you already know, Captain Veranda, we've acquired our own transportation now, so I hope you understand our fee is going to require a bit of an increase. Now, as for the mission itself, Admiral, why should we do this for you?
Well, in exchange for your assistance, Captain Verona has authorized me to pay each of you a modest sum. Additionally, this may be a chance to discover what the Empire is planning with the Sarlacc project, which could have big repercussions if I am right.
On that matter, what else exactly do you know about the Sarlacc project?
Oh, not much more than I've already told you. My involvement came in managing resources, and most of those transactions were encoded.
So, once we touch down on this planet, how are we supposed to find him?
Unfortunately, Dog's exact whereabouts are unknown. However, he has been seen in Keita Nomoria's city of Zara. Chances are that someone in the city would know where he is. I'm assuming you would discover the extent of Daga's involvement in the Sarlacc project. He's not one to give up secrets easily, but he has been known to take associates into his trust. If you can get inside his palace, he might reveal what's going on. Or you might be able to find out by snooping around. You see, Captain Oberus, why you and your crew are ideal for this.
Yeah, I get it. We don't give the impression of belonging to nobody.
What is it that we know about Zara?
Well, Zara was heavily damaged during the Clone Wars, and half of the city is still in ruins. A few residents have chosen to remain to inhabit the cluster of settlements on one end of the city, however. Now, I'm assuming that with your new ship, Captain Verona does not need to charter passage for you aboard the Banshee anymore. The transport vessel, captained by Serona Keefe, after you helped rescue me from my prison on Felucia, she is still kept on retainer. Have you any troubles with your new ship? But your piloting roles and responsibility for maintenance are now your own. Good luck with that.
Well, this planet is filled with 1/3 idiots.
Yep. I've dealt with the Nemoidians before a few times in the past, and I've also seen what happens to a world that's been ravaged by war.
Well then, says Captain Verona, I'll give you all a moment to mull it over around yourselves, and I need a decision quickly by 0400. Admiral, and he kind of ushers the old Admiral out and leaves you guys alone in the conference room to discuss amongst yourselves.
So we land on this planet, half-destroyed town, and ask questions all sweet-like. What else could go wrong?
Many things, but that is the fun.
You just got a point. I don't think this is going to be exactly safe. Well, Posa, Dr. Leth, what do you guys think?
Well, I certainly can't leave my projects behind. And always interesting to add new data points. My material is on the ship. I go with it.
Fair enough. Posa?
It'll be hanging out here.
Yeah.
Boring.
Boredom Central.
Ugh.
Can I have a perception check, gentlemen?
Yes.
I can roll the dice.
25.
24.
20.
And 19.
All the numbers.
Frank doesn't want to say his 8. Can I take a 10? I was waiting for, can I take a 10? Anytime he rolls under 10.
Can I take a 10?
Can I take a 10 on this? I'm pretty sure I can take a 10. They're my friend. No, they're not.
The scout is the only one that rolls super low.
Who got 10 or over? Okay, so everybody besides Zin, who's like, giving this beard stroking some serious consideration down at the table in front of him.
Looking at the bottom of my cup.
Yeah, why is this empty? Why is the rum always gone? Starting with the lowest of 19 and Dr. Leth at a close 20. Both of you do notice Arthur's reaction to Leth stating that all of his materials are already on the ship. He kind of like pulls back and turns his head really quick, like, that's news to me, master. Shit, I guess I better start moving all that crap out of the resurgence and start loading the lab. Actually, he kind of like slowly tries to start sneaking away so that you don't ask him to do exactly that. So it's only Rahal alone at 25 that notices Poser Sham seems a little bit more reflective and even possibly more sullen lately with the planet. He's not so quick, he's not so glib, he's not so pissy on purpose. You literally gotta ask him, you gotta poke him, and he seems hesitant to give answers. He seems rather distracted of it. I just want to take it. No, what you alone do with this now or later,
Okay.
is up to you, but I believe it is something that's worth mentioning.
Sure.
So, gentlemen, it sounds like there's a whole bunch of why not going on around the table here. The soft opening of the door, mimicking a, shall we say, alternate universe, opens by itself, and Arthur slowly rolls through it to get away, to avoid charges. You just hear the beep, bleep, I'll be right back, sir. Gone down the hallway.
Just make sure they top off the tank before we leave. I don't think we'll be making any pit stops after we touch down.
No, I'll be sure to get the ship resupplied. I still got to chat with that quartermaster.
Well, your moderate sum you can ask to have, supplies and everything in it might come down a bit. So, gentlemen, a resupply?
Yep.
Okay. One by one, you return to your barracks, coming out with your meager belongings that you had left on the Resurgence, and move our home away from home to the mobile ship, the Archelon.
I'm going to head down to the vehicle maintenance bay first.
Sure.
Or, well, I guess stop in the room, grab everything, then head to the vehicle maintenance bay.
Okay.
And pick up my ride.
The speeder bike?
Oh, yeah.
All right. The Eldoranian security force thanks you. It is great that they had a chance to reverse engineer, take this thing completely apart, learn a bunch of Empire secrets, and I'm sure we'll have it back together for you in about a week.
No, we didn't talk about this.
They didn't ask.
I was working on it the entire time.
Yeah, but you did also run off to Aquarius and leave it with them for at least 6 days, and they're like, hey, what's this? Next shift comes in, tinker, sitting on it, look at these dope speakers he put on here. Wonder what they're for, Fine, 3 days. I'm not letting you take that bike. No, I'm just kidding. Fine.
Well, here, how about bike is half put back together. I take it and the rest of the stuff. I get some of these lackeys to help me haul it onto the ship, and I'll work on it there.
You'll have something to do on the way to Nemoidia. There you go. See, that's what I like about this guy. He takes whatever's thrown at him and he plays through. He plays forward. You don't get into fights with me. Personal ones, if not player versus GM.
Might be quite easier to upgrade as well if it's already being put together.
Oh,
exactly.
Perhaps this is a Christmas DM gift in disguise. I mean, don't forget the actual label of that one episode called a speeder bike for Christmas back in season 1. It's a callback to that, maybe. Thank you, Mr. Tamlin, exposing what I've got in my stocking for.
Sure.
Well,
that's exactly what you have planned.
Yes. Dr. Leth, your samples, you were reverse engineering and working on your own crafting stuff, and you and Arthur, take the lab equipment and everything with you, or are you going to leave that here maybe for them to play with?
No, I wouldn't let anyone touch my research.
Okay. Well, you have multiple projects. You have your original
Xenophobic
Humfest going on that you declared at customs. There's this new reverse engineering stimulant. Then you talk to me quietly off camera about some crafting, like upgrading weapons, upgrading armor. You're a busy dude.
Upgrading equipment and such is something you would do in your spare time. Researching is... You can't focus all of your efforts on one thing at a time.
No, that's fine. I'm going to downgrade the dice size for your hyperspace travel, guys, from D6 or D10 to like D4, so that you guys don't show up like fully armed, armored, and stiff. It's like, what the hell happened? And we have 4 news 4 powers. Damn it! The farther they put your planet jumps away, the more powerful you guys become. Because you got Poser working on his bike and his force powers. You got Dr. Leth upgrading and reverse engineering. All right.
Isn't that the point?
It costs money out of my pocket, so...
2 of the most surprising things that happen at the docking ring. First, O'Keefe comes out and goes past Leth. We thought, maybe she was there for a checkup or something. Who knows what she asked of him, but maybe it wasn't romantic, because she goes past Leth, throws her arms around Merrick, and plants a great big wet kiss on him, and says, "Come back to me."
What?
What? How'd I miss that?
You didn't happen right in front of you. There's like spittle you're pulling out of your eye. It's like, Jesus, get a room, guys.
How did I miss?
Don't know. The woman just throws her arms around you, throws a big kiss on you, says, "Come back to me, big guy," and then stalks off, glaring at Rahal the entire time.
Very good. Rahal, what did you do?
You was drunk, and I swore I would never tell.
He's got moves when he's plastered. Merrick.
I understand.
He was popular with the young crew, telling stories and stuff. Maybe like O'Keefe overheard them and became impressed, and decided to show her feelings. Now you've got reason to come back. I'll tell you one thing: Sasha is heating up in your hands like an overload charge. Somebody's jealous. Yeah. The biggest surprise, or perhaps not, is as you guys are leaving and half of you guys are aboard ship, maybe one of you, perhaps none of you, sees a young lone ensign loitering at the end of the hall, hesitating, watching Old Man Zin, and finally marching up to him as he's passing things down through the docking ring. Old Man Zin, you look up, and it's the young ensign, the shooter, the young lone wolf girl, the one that you lectured in the eatery about the personable engagement with a target, and asking her if she really wanted to start that kind of career. All she's done is train. She's a sharpshooter, she's part of a away team, and she's craving something. It threw you back into memories of the woman and her young daughter who you trained personally. But here she is, maybe with finally something to say. You kind of waved her off last time with the whole, you sure this is the life you want to kind of start? She got upset and left you.
So we're, just offloading the last of our gear. I'll look up, as she comes down the hall. Yeah? Have you given any thought? New career, that is.
I've asked Captain Verona's permission, and I'm allowed to take leave. I have leave coming up. I want to join your crew.
What?
She clenches her fists at her side, turns beet red, and looks you in the eye and says, "I want to join your crew."
The last thing I want is to watch you get killed in some far-off place that no one will remember.
I won't get killed. I was top-ranked in my class as spotter, top-ranked in my class as shooter. They don't actually do that. They pair you up, and because none of these asshats wanted to work with me, I actually trained for both jobs in both classes. I'm the best trained at what I do, the best on the Eldoradian security force. You could use someone like me.
No.
Why not?
Just kind of looks her up and down and gives her just kind of this dead-eyed stare. No. I don't want to watch you die again. You remind me of somebody too much. Now go.
Clenches her fists and balls up, looking like she's either going to punch you or cry. But again, she just stalks off down the hallway, muttering and cursing on you.
That too, persuasion.
Well, you did say no. And here on the Eldoradian security force, no means no. So even though you didn't persuade her to screw off, she smuggles herself aboard. Damn it! Stow away. 4 days later,
Just kind of watch her storm off and shake my head. You just can't teach kids anything these days. Step on through the access hatch.
Okay. The scene pulls out outside the ship, and as we see the Archelon drop, shift, and turn from the docking ring under the Bleed frigate and just zoom away past the side scene of the camera, and the Nebula B frigate, its engines rev up and into hyperdrive and changes position. Gone. The camera turns around and we see the back of the Archelon itself in a different direction. It's gone until next time.